I do own an HVAC business, and I do know how to get calls to my company. All right. So a little background on me. I've run my company for the last 20 years. We're actually in our 21st year, and I've been through a lot of the ups. I've been through a lot of the downs. Sometimes there's ups and downs multiple times a day in this business, right? Okay. So we've had a lot of questions in the group about how to get the phone to ring. I'm going to tell you exactly what I've learned and how to get the phone to ring in my 20 years, all right? And if you have a comment, please put it in the chat. I'm going to ask you to say, where are you from, so that I can know that the chat is working, okay? Last time I went live, the chat was not working. Okay, so here's the deal when it comes to trying to make the phone ring, right? The first step is it always, always, always starts with the client list. All right. So, and if you've been in business only for a month or a couple weeks, just hold on. I have something for you. Okay. But for those businesses that have been in business for a while, you've been in business for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, there is a huge, huge opportunity that you have to get the phone to ring. And one thing that changed my life and changed my HVAC business forever was when I really understood how powerful my customer list was. Now, a lot of companies, you may have your customer list on paper somewhere. You may have it all in your iPhone scattered around. You've got to pull that in together, right? Once you pull in your client list, it's only the beginning, right? But it's the beginning of something amazing. So I'm going to tell you exactly what to do when you pull that client list in. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get them all in. You're going to get them consolidated somewhere. You probably have that client list in a CRM. That CRM may be Service Titan. It may be House Call Pro. It may be Breezy. It may be Jobber. It doesn't matter what it is. You're going to pull them all in somewhere where you can text them or you can email them. Okay? And depending on where your numbers are, so let's talk about messaging. And I talk about this in my book, The Profit Playbook. It's not available yet. It'll be out in September. Okay? So it's coming out in September. I talk about messaging. So what you want to do is, the fastest way to get jobs on the schedule is to contact your actual customers. Why? Because they've bought from you already, they'll buy from you again. But you want to make sure that you're messaging them properly. You don't want to just ask for things, right? What kind of relationship is, have you ever had a friend that just, every time they call you, they need something, right? That's a toxic relationship. That's a bad relationship. Well, our customer and business relationship it mirrors interpersonal relationships. You never want to be the company that every time you text or every time you email or every time you call, you want something. You want to sell something. That's a big mistake. You don't want to spam your customers because they'll start ignoring you. Even if they never hit the stop button or the unsubscribe button, they will mentally block you, right? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're texting and you're messaging things that is important to them. One thing to realize when you're messaging customers is people don't care about you that much. They don't care about you as much as you think that they should. They're going about their lives. They're taking their kids to their soccer games or to their ballet tournaments, and then they have work, and then they have church, and they have all these extra things. The last thing they're concerned about is that you need them to have their AC serviced, right? So you want to message things in a way that's important to them. Think about ways to save money on their electric bill. Okay, I'm really big on this in my company. We do really, really well on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. And one of the main things that I talk about when I'm posting is about your electric bill. Why? Because people care about that. And if you can get past what you need as a company and you can give people what they need as a person, you'll start to connect with your customers. So think about your email newsletter. Send them things that will help them understand how to save money on their electric bill. For example, here's an email idea. Here's 5 ways to save money on your electric bill. Weather strip your windows. Make sure that you don't have gaps on your doors. Number 3, make sure your air conditioner is functioning well. Stuff like that, right? To start warming up that customer list. For every email that you send out, for every text message that you send out, let's say you have 1,000 customers in your list. If you send it to the first 100 people, a couple of them are going to respond to you back. Now, I believe in messaging a certain way. I have 4 pillars of a good message, especially a text message. Number 1, you're going to introduce yourself. For example, you may say, hey, this is Michael from Acme Heating and Cooling. We've worked on your system before, okay? So that covers the first one, introduce yourself. And the second one is establishing what is the relationship. You're reminding them that you didn't just come out of nowhere. We've worked on your system before. Okay, that's the first two. Number three, somewhere in that message, you're going to add something that's important to them. What's in it for them, right? You can say something like, did you know that your air conditioning system accounts for 40% of your electric bill? Okay, boom. Now they're interested because this is about them. This helps them. It doesn't just help you, okay? We never want to be in the me part of the business customer relationship. And then number four, you want to make sure that you end that text message with an open-ended question. For example, would you like me to schedule a maintenance for you? And the reason you have to end that with an open-ended question is because people have a hard time not answering when you ask them a question, okay? So if you lead with an open-ended question like, would you like me to schedule a maintenance for you? Even if they respond with no, that's good. You got your customer to respond, because your next response could be, okay, no problem. When would you like me to schedule? Do you see how this goes? So any response is a good response. And I know what you're saying, okay, because I've consulted many HVAC companies in my years. You're saying, well, I don't want to bother my customers. They're going to unsubscribe. They're going to get irritated. That's what I call head trash, okay? You don't know how your customer is going to respond. It's easy for us to just shoot things down all the time. Oh, that won't work for me. Shot that idea down. That won't work in my market. Oh, well, I wouldn't like that if someone did that to me. And you're just shooting down all the ideas all at the same time, wondering why you have small amount of leads in your company. Okay, so don't shoot the ideas down. Give it a shot. Even if you just send it out to a small amount of customers to test, I usually tell people, if you're uncomfortable, just do it on a small amount. Like when you raise your prices, just raise them 3 out of every 10 customers, just so you can see that you're not going to get the reaction that you think you're going to, right? People are friendly, especially if you're not spamming them, you're helping them, okay? So number one way to get leads into your company, if you need them right now, like you need the phone to ring right now, stop worrying about SEO immediately. Stop worrying about ads. Stop worrying about the website. If you need jobs on the schedule right now, text, email, or call your customers. Calling is the best way, okay? But there's a bandwidth issue because you can't call 1,000 people in one day, okay? But calling, outbound calling, pick up the phone and call, hey, Miss Smith, it's been 6 months since we last serviced your AC. And by the way, when we were there 6 months ago, you mentioned that you wanted to fix that one duct, but you didn't have the money right then. Is now a good time to do it? You can put jobs on your schedule. I'll never forget when I think I was in my 4th year of business, and it was so hard. Nobody was calling me. And these were in the days of the phone book. And I remember someone told me, well, you know, here's a little trick. You can just open the phone book and call people in your town. And I didn't want to do that because I don't like cold calling, you know. But does it matter what I liked? I needed jobs on the schedule. So I opened that phone book and I started to call. And I remember I booked about $1,000 of work. I was a one-man show at the time. I booked about $1,000 of work in, I think it was maybe 20 minutes. I was doing maintenances for $100 at the time, right? And that's when my brain clicked, like, wait a minute. I don't have to wait for people to call me. I can call people. And I didn't even have a customer list at the time, but a lot of you have a customer list. Call them. Get your offer together first. Get your messaging together first, because you don't want to just spam people, right? Because just because you call or just because you text or email doesn't mean you'll get a response. It depends on how good your message is. And we've all seen that before when we were in the dating world. I've been married for 21 years, but I remember the dating world when I was in high school and I was in my early 20s. I'd go out with a bunch of friends, and some of the guys I was hanging out with had better luck when they were out trying to get phone numbers because they had a better approach, right? And then you have some that were just horrible at it. So just doing it is not good enough. Just outbound calling, just texting is not good enough. You have to have your message together, right? You have to approach people a certain way. You can't just care about yourself and what you want. You have to truly understand what they want, and it has to be a win-win situation. If your customer can win and you can win at the same time, then that's probably going to be a really good long-standing relationship, all right? I don't see any comments unless I'm doing this live wrong. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. So the first way is to outbound your customer list. It's very, very, very powerful, all right? The second way is to have really, really strong branding. Now, I made the little joke about the dating world, right? When you've got a bunch of guys going out trying to, find a wife or find a girlfriend, and everyone's doing their messaging different. Some are getting different results. It's the same way because you're courting your community. As a business, you are community. You're trying to get into a relationship with your customers, a professional relationship. Obviously, we're talking about getting customers, getting jobs. You want to make sure that what you represent is what the customer is perceiving. Okay, and I have an amazing story. I remember one time I was doing a job and I have all my trucks wrapped. I have, I think my wraps right now, it costs $4,000 every time they do it. And Dan Antonelli did my designs from Kick Charge Creative. I remember I went to this house one time and I gave this homeowner a quote, and it was a $15,000 job. We finished the job. The homeowner went upstairs, got his backpack, came down and started counting out $15,000 in cash. He's handing it to me, and the bag was full of money. I can see that there was probably another $10,000 in that bag. And at the same time, a plumber pulls up, because I had mentioned that when the technicians were under the house, he had water dripping. And that's one thing where it's a win-win. I'm always going to let the customer know of other problems. That's how you keep customers. So a plumber pulls up. His van was all dented, beat up, destroyed. It looked hideous. And he probably was a really, really good plumber. But the perception, it didn't make the customer feel that comfortable. So the plumber goes under the house, and I can see the look that the homeowner was giving. He was looking the van up and down. It looked like it crashed 3 times before the plumber got there. And when the plumber came out, he said, hey, I can fix this water problem right now. It's just a couple splices, and it'll be $400. And believe it or not, the guy sent him home. The homeowner dealt with the water leak because he perceived the plumber's skill and the plumber's ability based on the brand. And I know what you're thinking. Well, people shouldn't do that. It doesn't matter if the van is completely wrapped. I'm a good HVAC person. But is it really about what people should do, or is it about what people do? Okay? Do. Okay? All right? People are going to judge because they don't know who to trust. There's a lot of contractors that have ripped people off. There's a lot of issues that people are dealing with psychologically, and they're picking up clues to protect themselves. And the perception of your brand does have a lot to do with if you get hired or not, if you can close at a high price or not, if you can get the prices you deserve. So if you need jobs on the schedule immediately, I'm encouraging you to outbound call, outbound text, create an email newsletter. If you have a little bit more time, then I encourage you to start working on your brand. Make sure that your brand tells a compelling story. Make sure that your van makes it look like you're worth hiring. Make sure that your shirt matches your van. Make sure your website matches the van. It matches the shirt. Make sure your Facebook ads and things that you're posting matches all of that, because all of that generates trust, okay? So that is the first step. That is what I wanted to talk about in this live show. A couple quick notes. I'm going to be going live in this group every Tuesday night from 6:15 to 7:15, and every Friday from 8 in the morning to 8:30 in the morning. So if there's anything you would like me to talk about on these lives, please put them in the comments or post them in the group. I will make sure to address those things. Also, we are opening up our HVAC Mastermind. The first group call is going to be in August, and I'll put the date there, and I'll put a sign up in the comments here. I would love to have you. We have a couple great HVAC companies in that mastermind. Once you join the mastermind, you have access to all of the courses that I have created, myself and the other HVAC coaches that we have. We have a sales trainer, and we have some other opportunities. We have some great HVAC coaches. Anyway, you have access to all those courses, and you have access to one-on-one coaching, and you have the group mastermind, which is the community of other owners all getting together on a video conference call, helping each other and growing. I'll put a link to that in the comments.